This title popped up in my YouTube studio, How to Improve Every Aspect of Your Life. Now, it's because YouTube tracks what the viewers on my channel are searching. YouTube takes my viewer search data and suggests subjects for my next video from that data. Now, it suggested that I make this video about this subject. Now, I'm pointing this out for a few reasons that you'll learn in a moment. My initial reaction to the suggestion was fairly negative, but on reflection, I realized this subject really is what my channel's all about. I've made a few videos about the idea that we're living through a Jungian mass psychosis event. Now, if you're not up to speed or if you're not familiar with this, technically, Jungian mass psychosis refers to a collective psychological condition where a large group of people unconsciously share irrational beliefs, fears, and behaviors. But really just means, no, it's not just you. When you fire up your social media and think, wow, people are fucking insane, and nearly everyone seems to have lost touch with reality. This is what Jung was talking about. We're in the midst of a global mental health meltdown. The Salem witch trials, which were a real thing, was another classic mass psychosis event. So I thought, you know what, YouTube? You're right. This is a great idea for a video. I genuinely believe that my entire adult life as an artist and as an educator has been driven by a quest for a healthy and meaningful life, and my work as an artist has primarily been an examination of these ideas. Now, I've identified 4 major principles that I believe will improve every aspect of your life, and I'm about to explain what those are. But first, let's take a look at what the most likely advice might be and stay the hell away from it. Another recurrent theme of my videos has been the effect of artificial intelligence on our culture. So let's first take a look at how YouTube has integrated artificial intelligence into its creator tools, into YouTube Studio, its tools for video creators, and look specifically at what artificial intelligence thinks will improve every aspect of your life. We're going to do this in order to highlight the simple idea that large language models, on their face, seem intelligent, but in reality are anything but. Now, YouTube's AI agent built an outline for the script of this video, and not only do I strongly disagree with its suggestions, but I would point you in a completely different direction. To improve your life, change how you think and what you think about. One's character and destiny are the product of one's thoughts and beliefs. We find this idea in Plato. The mind is central to the formation of reality, both in terms of personal character and broader understanding of the world. We find it in Descartes. Thought is the essence of existence. How one thinks directly relates to how one perceives and interacts with reality. We find it in James. Thoughts and beliefs are tools that can be used to shape reality, emphasizing the practical impact of what one chooses to think and believe. We find it in Emerson. Thoughts and beliefs of an individual shape their character and destiny. We find it in Nietzsche. Thoughts and will are central to shaping one's reality and destiny. We find it in Marcus Aurelius. By focusing on virtuous thoughts, you shape a virtuous life. And of course, we find it in Proverbs. For as he thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. Now, I want to give you fair warning from the jump so that you can bounce now if this is not your jam. The suggestions that I'm going to make are drawn from both religion and philosophy, and are based on the assumption that good and bad are actual things that exist, and that good and bad as categories are not mere social constructions. I'll explain this in depth later, but this point is not just a warning. As I go oddly full screen, getting on board with this idea is arguably the most important step in improving every aspect of your life. To come to the realization that that which is good is a real thing that exists independent of human perception, to relentlessly pursue it changes everything. In Aristotelian and Thomas terms, the first, simplest, and most important step in order to change everything in your life for the positive is in all things to pursue the highest good, the final end. Now, I want to be perfectly clear about my agenda. While 2 of the 4 suggestions on how to transform your life are drawn from Christian theologians, these ideas transcend any single religious tradition. So while I identify as Catholic, the profound mystery of human existence and the source of those things which are good is beyond both names and forms. The idea that God is beyond both names and forms is found in multiple religious and philosophical traditions. In Hinduism's Advaita Vedanta, Brahman is the formless ultimate reality. Buddhism's concept of sunyata suggests ultimate truth is beyond forms. Christian and Islamic mystics like Meister Eckhart and Sufi poets describe God as ineffable and beyond human comprehension, while Neoplatonism's One and Taoism's Tao also represent realities that transcend all names and forms. So what are the steps that we can take to improve every aspect of our life? Well, first, pursue magis. The Jesuit concept of magis is a key principle in Ignatian spirituality, rooted in the teachings of St. Ignatius of Loyola, the founder of the Jesuit order. The word magis is Latin for more or greater, but its meaning in the Jesuit context goes beyond mere quantity. It refers to the pursuit of the greater good, excellence, or depth in one's life and work, always striving to do more for God and others. It can be helpful to think of magis as the unrelenting pursuit of excellence and an alignment of your actions with that which is good as part of a relentless attempt to achieve the full development of your potential. The second step in the process is to pursue the highest good in all things. The Latin term summum bonum essentially translates to the highest good. It's a central concept in various philosophical traditions, particularly in Aristotelian and Thomistic ethics. Aristotle viewed the summum bonum as eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or happiness. For Aristotle, eudaimonia was the ultimate goal of human life, achieved through virtuous living and the fulfillment of one's potential. Thomas Aquinas, building on Aristotle, integrated Christian theology with the concept. So for Aquinas, the summum bonum is the ultimate union with God where true happiness and fulfillment are found. Now, while Thomas Aquinas is a Christian theologian and philosopher, this concept of union with the source of inherent good transcends all human attempts to categorize it. This idea can be found in many religious traditions and transcends any one religion. It is truly beyond both names and forms. Now, there are overlapping themes in both concepts. Both concepts emphasize striving for something greater, while magis focuses on continuous improvement and greater service. Summum bonum is about achieving the ultimate good or fulfillment in life. The important and actionable idea is that both concepts encourage individuals to aim higher than the status quo, to strive to achieve that which is profoundly good. In Jesuit spirituality, magis is about aligning one's actions with God's will and contributing to the greater good. Now, in many philosophical traditions, achieving the summum bonum often involves aligning with a higher moral or spiritual order, whether that's God, virtue, or societal well-being. Magis encourages personal growth through striving for excellence and deeper service. The summum bonum also involves personal fulfillment, whether it's through happiness, flourishing, or union with the divine. Both concepts see personal development as integral to achieving something greater. Both concepts recognize that the highest good isn't achieved in isolation, but through relationships and societal contributions. Now, there are distinct differences between the two ideas. Magus is inherently a theological concept within Jesuit and Catholic traditions, focusing on divine service and spiritual growth. In contrast, Summum Bonum originates from broader philosophical traditions and can be interpreted in both secular and religious contexts. The ultimate goal of Magus is to glorify God and to serve others more effectively. For Summum Bonum, the goal varies by philosophical tradition, ranging from personal happiness and virtue to union with the divine. The third step in the process is to understand virtue as a pathway to achieve both Magus and the Summum Bonum, the highest good. In classical philosophy, particularly in the works of Aristotle, virtue, or arete in Greek, refers to moral excellence in the habitual disposition to act in ways that fulfill one's purpose or potential. Virtues are qualities like courage, temperance, justice, and wisdom, which guide individuals to act rightly and to live a flourishing life. In Aristotelian ethics, virtues are the means by which individuals achieve the highest good or ultimate end of life. By cultivating virtue, one aligns with the moral and ethical framework that leads to true happiness or flourishing, eudaimonia. Magus encourages the pursuit of excellence and continuous improvement. This pursuit is closely tied to virtue because it involves not just doing more, but doing better, acting with greater integrity, greater compassion, and greater wisdom. In this sense, Magus can be seen as a practical application of virtue, where one strives to embody and enhance virtues in service to others and to God. So, how does one actually live out the principles of Magus? One must cultivate virtues such as diligence, humility, and generosity. These virtues enable a person to discern how to serve more effectively and to make choices that align with the greater good. Virtue provides the moral compass that guides the quest for Magus. In Aristotelian and Thomistic ethics, the cultivation of virtue is essential for achieving the Summum Bonum. For Aristotle, virtues help individuals achieve a balanced, harmonious life, which leads to true happiness. For Aquinas, virtues guide individuals towards their ultimate end, union with God. Now, the quest for personal potential, as discussed in relation to Magus, inherently involves the development of virtues. Striving for excellence in any field, whether it's professional, intellectual, or spiritual, requires cultivating virtues that help refine one's character and actions. So, what are the practical implications? Practicing Magus through the lens of virtue means continuously seeking ways to act more justly, kindly, and wisely in your daily interactions. It's about making choices that reflect a commitment to moral excellence, whether in your personal life, work, or community involvement. Applying Magus could mean fostering an environment where virtues are encouraged and modeled, where the pursuit of excellence is balanced with a deep sense of ethical responsibility and care for others. Cultivating virtues is essential for anyone seeking to realize their full potential and to live a life aligned with the highest good. It's about integrating virtues into every aspect of life, making them foundational for growth, decision-making, and relationships. The fourth step in the process is to assume responsibility. Existential philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre argued that individuals are radically free and therefore bear full responsibility for their choices and actions. In his famous phrase, "existence precedes essence," he posits that people are responsible for defining their own essence through their actions. Sartre effectively places an absolute responsibility on the individual. So here, in 4 simple steps, is the pathway to improve every aspect of your life. 1, ask what more can I do? 2, in all things pursue the highest good. 3, align your actions with that which is good. And 4, accept and understand that you are existentially free and responsible for the creation of your life. The concepts of virtue, magis, and summum bonum, as well as existential responsibility, are all deeply interconnected, forming a robust framework for understanding and pursuing a meaningful, ethical life. Virtue provides the moral foundation, while magis offers the impetus for continuous improvement, and summum bonum represents the ultimate goal of that pursuit. Existential responsibility places the shape of one's life, one's fortune, fate, and ultimate destiny firmly back in the hands of the individual. Together, they guide individuals toward a life of moral excellence, purpose, action, and deep fulfillment. So, how do I know what's good, right, and just? How do I identify that which is good? The summum bonum. The understanding of that which is good, what is good or not good, is intrinsic and intuitive, rather than something that requires external validation or explanation. This inscription and rhetorical question suggests that deep down, people possess an innate sense of what's good, similar to the Socratic belief that truth and virtue can be recognized by reason and introspection without needing someone else to define that for us. It's Bob Dylan that reminds us that you don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. If we're being real, if we are telling the truth, we already know what is good and what is bad.